Legend, did you have a birthday last week?
Yes.
And how old are you now?
6.
You're 6? You're
Yeah.
sure you're not 60?
I'm in 6.
You're 6. Can we sing happy birthday to you? All right, here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Legend. Happy birthday to you. Would you like the funny song now that I sing to you? Okay, it goes like this. Happy birthday to you. You live in the zoo. You look like a monkey, and you smell like one, two. Like one, two.
As a mother of a little black boy, this is not okay. This is absolutely insulting. All the BLK kids just staring in disbelief like me. Imagine if your child was treated like this at school, and instead of just letting him enjoy his birthday, the teacher decides to sing him a second birthday song and then calls him a monkey. Do you know how that feels? Some people might say, oh, it's not that deep. But yes, it is that deep. Back in the day, our people were constantly compared to monkeys, our features were mocked, and that history still carries pain. So when someone says that to my child, it's not just a joke. It's disrespect, it's harmful, and it shows they don't even realize the weight of their words. And this is why I tell other black parents, be careful about sending your kids to predominantly white schools. Because things like this happen and our babies end up being the ones hurt. It's not okay, and it's something we cannot keep ignoring.
Today, I bring you a story that is not just about Charles' birthday. It's something more than that, okay? This story is about the ongoing war against black dignity, the constant attacks on our children's innocence, and the way racism still hides in plain sight in 2025. Because the video we have just watched is for, it is in school. This happened in school, a 6-year-old boy, pure heart, bright eyes, eager to celebrate his birthday with classmates. He comes to school excited because birthdays are supposed to be about love, about joy, about laughter. And he was prepared for a good day. But instead of joy, instead of dignity, his teacher, who is, I think, white teacher, looked at him and led the class into a twisted version of happy birthday. I know some will take this lightly and some will take it heavily, but according to me, the way that there were 2 black kids, 2 black boys in that school, the way they reacted, you could see from their face, the impression of their face, they were not that happy. That's what I think, but it is happening. Now, I need you to pause and feel the weight of that moment, because let me tell you, a 6-year-old boy right now, they know a lot of things. They come across these things and they know what's happening, because this is not just about words. This is about centuries of history. It's about the scars of slavery, the trauma of colonization, the long-standing tradition of comparing black people to, in order to strip away humanity. So that's what we're going to talk about that today. And TikTok found this video, TikTok exploded, and black people reacted. Not even black people only, even white people, those who are offended by this, they reacted on these clips. So that's what we're going to talk about. Let's watch these reactions here, and then we come back and talk more.
Hi, Legend. Did you have a birthday last week?
Yes.
And how old are you now?
6.
You're 6? You're
Yeah.
sure you're not 60?
I'm in 6.
You're 6. Can we sing happy birthday to you? All right, here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Legend. Happy birthday to you. Would you like the funny song now that I sing to you? Okay, it goes like this. Happy birthday to you. You live in the zoo. You look like a monkey, and you smell like one, two. Give a clap, everybody.
And this is why teachers need cultural training. The fact that you decided to sing this young black boy a second birthday song and call him a monkey is crazy. I feel like some people are going to be like, well, it's not that deep. It's not that deep. That's your problem. Y'all don't be thinking things are too deep because of the simple fact that y'all think that it's okay for certain things to be said to an individual, and it's not. Back in the day, black people used to be compared to monkeys because of their features, literally. And the fact of the matter is, you decided to use that moment to disrespect and low-key just be discriminatory towards that black boy for no apparent reason at all. And this is why I say that if you're a black parent, make sure that your child do not go to a predominantly white school, because shit like this will happen. And it's not cool at all. I said what I said.
Let me tell you why this is not funny. Coming from somebody whose child was called a monkey by kids that look like that, this is not something that you should play with. The reference of using a monkey is absolutely fucking horrible. My son was in the 5th grade and being ridiculed by kids that was not of his skin color, calling him something because of his dark skin. That reference is unacceptable and she should be fired.
Don't you sing no shit like that to my baby. Don't you sing no shit like that to my son. The fuck?
What? You know shit like that ain't gonna fly in today's soft ass society. Surely there were ample other songs you could have used. I know this was racially motivated, but I just can't prove it.
So, look, I'm so glad we're able to bring this story to you because y'all just not gonna believe this. A Florida teacher is facing backlash after a video surfaced of her singing a controversial birthday song to a 6-year-old student. In the clip, she sings, "You look like a monkey, you live in a zoo." The incident occurred at Floral Avenue Elementary School in Bartow, Florida, and has since gone viral on social media platforms. Even the kids knew this wasn't right. The corner was like his mouth was open. Like,
No, but even
what?
all of the kids, they shut up.
Even they know that that's not right.
This is so sad. And it just gives that even if there was some funny, cute, joking aspect to it, that did not happen in this situation. It gave that it was 100% intentional.
You knew exactly
But
what
this
she
is the
was
thing.
doing.
You just sat up there and embarrassed him.
She should be embarrassed, out of her mind to even say something so ugly.
You know, you guys are exhausting at this present time, and I'm assuming that's the goal. I'm assuming that you are thinking that you're going to do these things so much that you are going to try to somehow make us normalize that this behavior is normal. And I can promise you that it would never be normalized. And when this time come and pass, some of y'all are going to look absolutely insane. And I think that, to be honest, a lot of you don't even care, because you are proud to be who you are. As a school teacher or someone that's working with children, you would look at a little black kid and decide to personalize the song to suggest that he is from a zoo and he looks like a monkey. Now, as a school teacher, you should know that that is going to make a large impact on the way the other students look at the 2 black kids in their school. And the reason that you sung that song specifically is because you wanted them to be able to identify the color of a monkey, that the color of a monkey looks like the brown kids in their classrooms. Notice how the 2 black kids immediately felt the impact of that song, and neither one of them laughed and neither one of them cheered for that song, whereas the white kids behind them laughed about that song because they knew exactly what she was insinuating, and it was giving them the impression that they are a little bit better than the little black boy that resembles a monkey. And when we think that racism is going to at some point ever go anywhere, absolutely not. Racism is taught. She was in her moment teaching little white kids that it's okay to call their classmates monkeys. And if you don't think racism is some form of mental illness, I don't know what to tell you, because the only thing in that teacher's mind that separates that kid from the rest of his classroom is the simple fact that his complexion is darker. And if that is the only issue you have with that child, then you should be in a mental institution, not teaching children. And to those good white people, the fact that you guys would allow her to hide behind her camera and not have her name, her address, her LinkedIn profile, the school she worked for, all in the comment section, yet validating in her comment section about the fact that some of y'all have sung that song. And it was even more disheartening to see a black person suggest, oh, I've sung this song to my kid too. If you wanted to sing that song to your kid in the privacy of your home, then that is your business. But there should be no reason why you would fix your face and go underneath a white woman's post to intentionally try to be hurtful to a young black kid and to create some kind of rage bait or anger and validate that song. That is absolutely insane and fuckery. And this is the reason why white supremacy is as strong as it is today, because as long as you have black people to always validate this type of bullshit, they're going to continue to do it. And the fact that we're living in a time where accountability is lost, it is like, I don't know. I can't even put into words what I really want to say, because unlike white people, my freedom of speech can cause me consequences, especially if it can be insightful. But I have a lot of choice words. And I really genuinely believe for white women who behave like this, I think if y'all spent more time washing with a washcloth in between the crevice of your vagina and wash away all the bacteria infections that you have, I think if you spent more time focusing on bathing every day frequently, then maybe you'll be less hateful. That's the only thing I can imagine. I would assume that the infections that you have rodent from your vagina is somehow affecting your brain cells as well, because there would never be any reason on God-given earth that you would ever think to fix your face to personalize a monkey song to a little black kid, especially during these times. Some of y'all literally need to be in a concentration camp and gassed, because at this present time, literally the world should be exterminating you. I'm telling you, it's so hard. It's so hard not to become prejudiced today, because you really just don't know who the good ones are. Because I just really don't believe that. I feel like all the things that we're seeing right now, there are family members that are coming on this platform and using their platform to give TED Talks about how what's happening in the world is so wrong. However, they're still hiding those family members. They're still hiding those so-called ICE agents. They're still hiding this teacher who would literally film this little black kid calling him a monkey and not tell who they are. So I just genuinely do not believe there are good white folks and that there are real allies, because we saw what happened when Charlie Kirk passed away. The same people that was good white people came on this platform crying, driving 13 hours away from a home that they're not even rounded by, getting first that they don't even live where 13 hours away where they don't even live, sitting front row seats basically at a Charlie Kirk Klan rally, and suggesting that they have different beliefs, but he still was somebody that, lost his life in public. As if there's not so many videos of black people losing their life in public. Most recently, Sonia Massey, literally in cold blood. And there was not this outpour and crying and humility and GoFundMes and going to her plays and lowering the flags. There was none of that. There was none of that. As a matter of fact, there was many different excuses as to why the police officer did that. So that selective outrage, that selective sadness is just what it is. A lot of them don't care what's happening to America right now. They don't even give a damn if they had to eat shit off the ground and literally had no place to stay, as long as they can film themselves calling a little black 6-year-old a fucking monkey. I hate some of you bitches. I ain't gonna lie.
No, get the fuck out of here. That teacher was wrong and she was dead wrong. I don't give a fuck. So it was a story about this 6-year-old boy, and he was in his class, and he was an African-American little boy, and he was the only African-American little boy in his class. See, I don't know where these teachers be thinking they trying to be smart, but no. So I guess last week it was the little boy's birthday, and he wasn't at school. So when he was at school this week, they decided to sing happy birthday to him in the class. Oh, they sung it the normal way. It was that fucked up teacher that sung it the way that she shouldn't sung it like that, trying to be funny. She gonna say, oh, do you want it the funny way? So the little boy like, yeah. If you would have looked at his face didn't look like he was pleased about that song. She said, happy birthday to you. You look like you belong in a zoo. You look like a monkey and you smell like one too. Get the fuck out of here. And I would have been a parent and went up there and cussed her ass out. Then all of our asses would have been on here looking like Peach McIntyre. The fuck? Because that pissed me off. The little boy just looking in the classroom around him, laughing and clapping their hands. No, get the fuck out of here. No.
If a white teacher said to your black child on their 6th birthday, happy birthday to you, you live in a zoo, you look like a monkey, and you smell like one too, how would you feel about that? First off, he did not find it funny. You found it really, really, really funny. I don't know why you're laughing like that. But this is a hard one. I mean, didn't the H&M controversy from 2018, 2019 teach us anything when they put that little black boy in the shirt that said, I think it said coolest monkey in the jungle? And H&M got a lot of backlash. Didn't that teach us anything? especially now in 2025, you have to be so careful what you say. The climate of the world is completely different. If this was like maybe 2005, I don't think anybody would have an issue with it. But her being an educator, I really feel like she should know better, especially dealing with different types of children. She should know better. But I do feel like, I don't know, in my gut, I feel like it was innocent. I really feel like she was just being silly. But then again, I really don't know. Does she sing the song to all of the white kids too? That's what I want to know. Is this something that she does to all of the children? Or did she just single him out and sing this to just him? Because if she did it to just him, then yeah, she needs to get fired. I'm sorry. But if she does this to all the students, then okay, I guess, but and I get it. I get that it's a song from Madagascar. I get it. But sometimes in a joke, there's a little bit of truth in a joke. So I really don't know. And especially in today's world, I don't know. What do y'all feel about this?
Did y'all see the video of the teacher that was singing to her student? He was 6, and so she's saying, "Happy birthday to you. You live in a zoo. You smell like a monkey, and you look like one too." So my best friend, she sent me this video today, and she was like, "Hey, make sure you check your DMs because I sent you a video. I want to get your thoughts on it." So I watch it, and I called her, and I was like, "Yo, I'm so torn because it is cringe because, you know, here we have a white teacher telling a black student, you look like a monkey and you smell like one too. In today's climate, race relations are really high. I'm like, it probably wasn't a good choice of songs. I thought she was going to sing the other one. Happy birthday to you. I wasn't expecting the other one. But the other side of me was like, The reason why my friend asked me this was because I have 4 goddaughters, and I've literally been singing this song to all of her kids since they were babies. So over 20 years, I've been singing this song to each of her kids every year for their birthday. So it is a song that was sang to me. I remember growing up and we was singing at other kids' birthday parties. So, you know, if she's an 80s baby, it probably could go over her head to think this may not be appropriate in today's world, because that's something that maybe she was used to singing. It was always just a funny song and a little treat for us when we were little, just to sing it and just be funny, you know. But now, so my friend was like, do you think that we're making a big deal out of this just because she's white? Like, not everything is racial. And I totally agree that it could be seen that way, because not everything is racial. Could it be a bad choice of judgment today? Absolutely. Doesn't mean that she's racist and it was intentional. Not necessarily. Again, this is something that me and my family and my friends have been singing to each other for years. Now, granted, most of us are all black, but we do have white people in our families. Our families are interracial, and white friends and such forth, so and so forth, whatever. We've all sung that, you know? So I was just curious to know if anyone else, you know, thought maybe the same kind of way. I'm leaning towards like it was just bad judgment and not, you know, an undertone of race. Or do you feel like it was intentional and she was trying to be malicious? I mean, I would really hope that this teacher wouldn't be malicious to a 6-year-old, but stranger things have happened.
Welcome back. Now, let me start at the beginning. The boy's name is not on the picture, it's not on the headline, but his innocence is. He's only 6 years old, and yet he has already tasted the bitter poison of racism in the space that was supposed to protect him. Okay? And what happened is that his teacher sang 2 versions of Happy Birthday. The first version was the normal one, the one we know. But then, almost as if she couldn't help herself, she switched it up, and the words that came out of her mouth shocked everyone. You know? And this version, you live in a zoo, look like a monkey, is a birthday song on a animals movies, I think, something like that. But finally, family, let me ask you something. What kind of adult thinks this is acceptable in 2025? Because I have seen some people saying it is not bad. But what kind of adult think this is acceptable in 2025? What kind of teacher entrusted with the care of children thinks this is funny to call a black child that name in front of his peers? You know, some people defend her. They say, oh, just a silly rhyme. And kids have sung it for years. But my question is this: why did she direct it at a black child? Why did she think that this was the moment? Because I think that was not the right moment. It may be a normal song. It may be just a silly song that children keep on singing, but it was not the right song, or it wasn't the right time that time. Okay? The community enraged, the mother outraged. The school district, I think, is now investigating, as they should, because this is not innocent. This is harmless. And this is racism. Okay? And when racism shows up, in a classroom, it is not just about the child being mocked. It's about every child in that classroom learning something that it is bad, okay? Learning something dangerous. Now, that word had some histories behind it. Because many people might say it's just words, but words carry history. Words carry power, okay? And when those words are used against black people, they carry centuries of pain. The comparison of black people to maybe monkeys is one of the oldest racist insults in the Western world. During slavery, white supremacists drew cartoons of Africans as monkeys to justify the enslavement. And they said that we were closer to apes than human. Okay? They used the lie to argue that we did not deserve freedom, we did not deserve rights, we did not deserve respect, you know? And during colonization, European scientists spread some science claiming that Africans were biologically closer to primates. So they published studies showing skulls of Africans next to apes to suggest that we were not fully human. And that's how colonization justified itself, by stripping out humanity from Africans. Okay? Even in the 20th and 21st century, this insult has not gone away. Black athletes in Europe are still facing that monkery charts. We have seen footballers still facing it. So when this teacher looked at a black child and sang that you look like a monkey, she tapped into the same racist tradition that she might claim it was innocent. She might claim that she didn't mean it racially, but intent does not erase impact. And the impact is clear. Those words wound because they echo centuries of dehumanization. Maybe she didn't mean bad. Maybe she didn't mean something bad, but sometimes doing the right thing at the wrong time, it's a bad thing. Doing the right thing at the wrong time, it's a bad thing. Now, the role of the teachers is supposed to be protectors. The role of the teacher is supposed to be guides, to be nurturers. And they are entrusted with modeling young minds. Parents and send their children in these schools believing that they will be safe, they'll be respected, you know, they'll be uplifted. A teacher has a role to play in the society. A teacher has powers. But when a teacher became the source of harm, it is different, you know, very different. Because, for example, this boy was just 6 years old, too young to understand the weight of centuries, but not too young to feel humiliation. And trust me, he will remember this. He will carry it, and the trauma may shape how he sees himself for years. Psychologists tell us that children form their senses of self-worth early by age of 6. Okay? By age of 6, children are already developing racial awareness. They are already internalizing messages about who they are, okay? Where they belong. So what does this mean? This means when a black child or when a black child's teacher talks or tells him that he looks like a monkey, it means he learns early on that authority figures may not see him as fully human. So that lesson is so much dangerous. Personally, I don't approve that. I didn't like that. And I'm against it. I don't know what you think. Tell me in the comment section your thoughts on that. Now, let me talk about some facts. Studies shows that black students are suspended and expelled at rates 3 or 4 times higher than white students for the same behavior. For example, black girls in particular face harsher discipline than their white peers. Something as simple as wearing braids or natural hair has been grounds for punishment. Children as young as preschool age are expelled for behaviors that are tolerated in white students. So see this picture or the pattern. The system does not see black children as children. It sees them as older, as less innocent, as more dangerous. And this is called adultification bias. And researchers found that teachers often perceive black boys as older than they really are. I think on that video, the teacher said look like 60, something like that. Okay? Now, combine that with racism in the classroom. What you get is an environment where black children are constantly under attack and their innocence is stripped away. Okay? Their self-worth is crushed and the opportunities are narrowed and before life begins. So that birthday song is one example. Okay? But it exposes the larger truth that our children are not safe in classrooms built on a foundation of white authority and white norms. Okay? And until we demand systematic change, these incidents will keep on happening. Till my black brother's systematic change, the system will continue. Now, let us not think this is just an American problem. No. This is a global problem. Across the world, black people face the same insult, the same dehumanization, and the same mockery. Even in the African schools, for example, in Kenya here, maybe sometimes when you are too black, there's somehow the community sees you. It is happening everywhere. Look at Europe. Black soccer players in Italy, in Spain, in England have had bananas thrown at them. Whole stadiums of fun chanting monkey. When a black player touches a ball, do you know what that does to a person? When he touches a ball, he is already demoralized. Okay, he's not thinking straight. So to hear thousands of voices calling you less than human, it is painful. When you go to Brazil, black Brazilians, despite being the largest population of African descent outside of Africa, still face racism where they are called monkey in public. In South America, in the Caribbean, in the Middle East, in Asia, the insult repeats itself. Okay? And this is because anti-blackness is global. It has been exported everywhere. Colonialism touched. Okay? So the script is the same. These insults is the same. The purpose is the same. The degrade to black people, to strip away dignity, is to make them feel like small. Now, the truth is, science itself says that human beings or humanity began in Africa, and the first human beings walked on African soil. We are the original people, so how can a descent of the first humans be called monkeys by those who came later? That is hypocrisy. It is irony, because this is why we must connect the dots. What happened in that classroom is not just isolated. It is part of global pattern. Okay? And until we dismantle that pattern, every black child in every corner of the world is at risk. Now, the school district says they are reviewing, but reviews means nothing if they end with a slap on the wrist. Okay? What that child needs right now, what this family needs, and what the community needs to hear is accountability, real accountability. Accountability means that the teacher must admit what she did was wrong. No excuses, no hiding behind it is just a rhyme, you know. She must face the reality that she invoked one of the most painful racist slurs in history. Accountability means the school must take actions, not just to protect the child, but to ensure that it never happens again. And that means training for teachers. That means clear policies. That means zero tolerance for racism in the classroom. Accountability means supporting the child. He needs counseling, he needs emotional support and reassurance that he is valued, loved and respected, because the wound he suffered cannot be ignored. Accountability must be messaged to every educator that you cannot dehumanize our children and expect to hide behind jokes. Words has power. Okay? And if your words wound, then you must face the consequences. At 6 years old, this child is forming his identity, is deciding whether he is worthy, whether he belongs, whether he is loved, you know. And when the teacher just called him a monkey in front of his peers, that is awkward, because he learns something different. He learns that authority figures may see him as less human. He learns that even on his birthday, he can be humiliated for the color of his skin. Okay? And that kind of lesson is not easily erased. It lodges deep in the subconscious. It can shape confidence, it can shape self-esteem and mental health for years to come. Okay? So if you are told that you are an animal, how do you see yourself? Your classmate laugh. How do you face them the next day? And here you will see a lot of white kids trying to joke around with that anytime they are with the friend, okay? And this is why racism is violence. Not just ecological violence, but but physical violence too. Words can wound deeper than fist. So it is not just physical violence, but it is psychological violence too. Sometimes racism is being disguised as humor, you know? Like how many times have we had, it's a joke, like don't be too much sensitive, lighten up. So it is racism disguised as humor. But let me ask this, who is laughing? Because a real joke makes everyone laugh. A racist joke makes the oppressor laugh and the oppressed cry. That's not humor. That is cruelty. Historically, racism has always hidden behind jokes. When you look at the old cartoons that depicted black people with exaggerated lips, wide eyes, and monkey features, white audiences laughed. But those images reinforced stereotypes that justified segregation and violence. Look at the minstrel shows where white performers painted their face black and mocked our people for entertainment. Okay, that was humor, but that humor, it was poison. So the teacher's song is not different. She thought it was funny. Maybe some kids laughed, but the black child just kept quiet and wondered. You could tell from her eyes that I'm not happy with this. That was too much wrong. It was too much wrong. Okay, so we cannot rest as black people. It's a lesson. We cannot just sit down and rest. We cannot assume that progress means safety. We mean let's remain vigilant. Okay, we must protect our children. And the story of that young boy, it is painful, but it's also a remember that why we fight, because if we cannot shield our children from racism at 6, then what future are we building for them at 16, at 26? So the bigger lesson here is that black parents must keep speaking out. Communities must keep exposing the truth. Allies must stop defending racism, and schools must change.